Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Just give it another minute and then we'll get started. All right, we can go and get started. I guess we'll just have a small group today, and that's okay. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So today we wanted to talk through the an update to the contributing file that kind of outlines the TSC voting members, their terms, as well as voter and candidate eligibility, as this was not really well documented in the past. And as we move things to more of a community-based project, we want to have this kind of document laid out, and we would need to get this voted on before January, before the next election. This is not anything binding. This is something that can be, sorry? This is something that can be updated in the future for the future TSC. This is just something that we wanted to get approved now, but we, of course, can always make updates, just a majority vote from the TSC members. So we have the TSC responsibilities outlined here. These are exactly copied from the current Magma technical charter. So no really major changes here. The only addition would be the allocation recommendations to the Linux Foundation as per approved budgets. So as we move to this community-based project, there will be some line items in the budget where the TSC has the authority to decide what they want to do with that money, whether that's used for certain tools like AWS or for certain people like hiring on security folks or any other kind of contractors. And that would all go through the Linux Foundation as the TSC would approve them. And I would, myself or another PM would be here to help with those contracts and other fun stuff. And then next, for TSC voting members, we are saying that the TSC will be composed of 7 members. Each member will be elected for a 1-year term. And if a member becomes inactive, then the other TSC members have the authority to vote the inactive member off of the TSC with a 2/3 vote. And then in case that a TSC member resigns or is removed, then a special election will begin to start. A special election will be held to fill the open seat. There will be an annual election to fill the TSC at the start of each year. So the goal would be in January. So by the end of January, have the new TSC set in place. And another rule would be that employees from the same organization or company should not hold more than 1 TSC seat. That is just to keep our TSC very diverse. For eligibility, so we'll have the current TSC members as well as any active contributors are eligible to run for a voting seat of the TSC. Candidates may self-nominate or be nominated by an individual who is qualified as a TSC voter. The TSC voter eligibility is outlined in section B here. It's actually a quite easy requirements that we have lined out, but that is only because we really want the community to start getting involved. And again, if we want to make these requirements a little bit more rigorous, that is something that the next TSC is able to put into place once they are in office, if you will. So there will be a report that shows the number of PRs, as well as reviewing, commenting any issues, design docs, anything that the contributors have contributed. This will also include mailing list discussions as well as Slack discussions. So you would need at least 20 measurable contributions in the last 12 months to be eligible. I know this should be a very, very easy measure to hit because of the Slack discussions, as I know that's where a lot of our discussions take place. And then if for some reason that you do not meet these requirements, but you feel that you should be eligible, you are able to submit a form that basically tells the current TSC that you feel you should be eligible and tell them why, and then that current TSC will be able to vote on whether that person is able to run in the election or not. But again, I feel that the measurements are quite low, so I don't feel that there should be a blocker for anyone in the community to be able to run, as everyone seems to be quite active. Right, and then for the election, there would be a nomination period, and in that nomination period, if there are 7 or less, then those folks will be part of the TSC. If there are more than 7 nominees, then we would have an election, and we would be using the OPA vote tool. Does anyone have any questions, comments on any of this proposal?
Questions on the timeline. When is expected the nomination to, I mean, when the nomination will start and when we will start the voting?
Yeah, so first thing, we would need to get the TSC to approve this document stating all of these requirements. And then come beginning of January, we'll start the nomination period. That will usually last about a week or two. And then voting will be the following week or so. So we're hoping by the end of January, everything will be finished.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions, comments? This is all up for discussion. So if you feel that something here is not correct or should be changed, this is an open discussion.
Yeah, this voter eligibility for 12 months, is there a way to track it, like, or I was just thinking, how will we measure it at 12 months? Of course, most of the guys who are eligible.
Yeah, so previously what we did, that we just listed a user's last commit from last 12 months, and that's how we used to track.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's also LFX Insights that tracks all of this as well.
Oh, okay, got it.
Any other comments, questions?
Thanks for pulling this together, Kendall. This looks great.
I also agree. I think it goes in the right direction, and I like it.
Great. Well, since we don't have quorum on the call today, we will move this to a vote in the Slack channel. But if anyone has any comments or questions in the meantime before this goes to a vote, please raise those in the public TSC channel so we can make sure that those are reviewed. Okay.
Kendall,
Okay.
Kendall, the list of current TSC members, is it online? And if so, can you just put a link on that when you send the message out?
Yeah, of course.
Thanks.
Yes, the current TSC is outlined in the wiki. I'm going to put that right there in the chat for everyone.
Right.
Those are the ones that were elected in January of this year. So that's the only thing that we had on the agenda today. Does anyone else have any other business or updates that they would like to address?
Yeah, a small update. Last week we conducted a meetup with Open Infra that included Magma and Cloud Native days also. So I've just shared a LinkedIn post, and there you can see some pictures of the event. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Siobhan. Looks great.
That's great. I have one item, and that is that I have a couple proposals in the proposals channel that could use a vote. And I would request to have the voting opened on those.
So there someone would need someone from the TC would need to raise a motion, and the second TC member would need to second that. Right? Or what's the way to?
Yes. So we don't have quorum on the call today, so we'll need to just do it in the TSC voting channel, which Lucas, if you can please send me the proposals, I can get the voting started for you.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
I would have maybe a small topic. I would like to finally drop the stale bot, which is closing issues that weren't touched in the recent months. I don't know what its settings are and how strict it is, but I think it has proven to create more harm than benefit. And I don't know whether that's would require a TSC vote or what the rules are to get rid of some GitHub integration that closes tickets, if that, or if we could more informally decide to get rid of it. But I'm at a loss at which level of at which flight level we need to discuss that topic.
Without addressing the procedural issues, I just want to say I think it's a good idea. I find myself jumping to reopen items that shouldn't be closed yet.
Yeah.
Yes,
It also, yeah, it had some negative impact with closing sub-tickets of some stuff, and yeah, it's not helpful. At least I don't experience it as helpful. And maybe if I ask the other way around, is there anyone who would want to keep Stalebot alive and active? then I would like to go forward and just disable it. And if that was the wrong decision, we could just enable it again. It's not harmful, or it's just a switch. Great.
That sounds good.
Just Max, can you document how you will disable and how somebody else should enable it?
Yeah, it's
Just,
GitHub admin setting menu. So someone with sufficient permission level needs to just click on disable. But yeah, I can comment that on the initial stalebot ticket, or yeah. Sure. Anything else? I think the 2 or 3 weeks ago we discussed the Bazel build Docker images with Bazel proposal. That that one would probably benefit from some visibility so that we can head towards voting on it. But we are not enough people here today to do this to do the voting. And just to offer it, if there are some questions regarding the recent TSC meetings that were rather impactful and already contained some discussions, you could ask them now. Okay. At least I have nothing else on my plate.
What about the weekly check-ins? Are those cancelled?
Yes, so we've decided to stop the weekly check-ins, and we would hope that folks, if they have any major updates, that they would put that in the agenda from going forward, as the updates kind of have fallen flat. I think the new TSC is welcome to put in a process as they see fit.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know about this. Then maybe only by voice, a quick update for the Bazel part. Our main focus currently is on getting rid of the dependency on AWS. So this is the ongoing effort where the people connected to Bazel are currently working on. Thanks.
I have a question. We had a lot of resources running on AWS. Did we plan to do anything for that?
Sorry, was this directed to me directly, or?
Like anyone, you, Max? I don't know.
What resources
yeah,
on AWS?
in
Everything.
lot of instances that were those are running are like from more than a year. I also messaged on our group Slack, but I don't know if someone has done anything.
Everything should spin down. And as far as I understand, there is right now no AWS planned for, or no AWS planned for next year. So everything will need to drop or will need to be removed, except for what the new TSC might decide as a route going forward.
So we have, if you see in the North Virginia region, the US East one, we have 14 instances running, and those are like, some of them are from Quinton, who left 1 year ago. So I have messaged this, I don't know, so many times. If nobody's using that, just get rid of that. Why we are
Yep.
paying for all these resources?
If I
think
remember
you
correctly,
responded.
I
Yeah,
think
Liz?
if I remember correctly, the last time the feedback was that nobody responded that they want to still use them. So I would suggest to just shut them down for now, wait for feedback if somebody complains, and if not, then we would delete them, is my suggestion.
Okay, so we have to understand if some of them are spot instances, then we cannot stop it. There is no stop button.
Okay, so Shubham, let's connect and let's maybe when you are back tomorrow, and let's tackle them and get rid of them or find out how and where they were started.
Okay.
Or if we don't find out, they will be shut down soon anyways with the current plan.
Can we send out
Okay.
a message on the TSC channel saying, asking if anybody's using them, and then they're going to be shut down in 24 hours or something like that?
That would be good. I don't know if TC channel is the channel where the relevant persons would be listening. Maybe the dev channel would reach the required persons.
We can put it on
So,
both. We can say on TSC that it's been discussed, and on the dev channel that it's being done.
yeah, so I've just shared a link in the DevOps channel. I posted this in October that we should get rid of these. And Tim said that he will take care of it, but I don't think nothing has happened.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah, so we can
So-
like get back to this.
Yeah, sounds good. And the goal is to get rid of them.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, Shubham, just suggestion from my side. If you cannot shut down the virtual machine, you can start up a firewall. You know, start up a firewall and make sure that only from certain IP address it's the instance is accessible, and it will be equivalent of shutting it down. Then
So-
we can see if somebody
So
complains.
when in AWS, when we create an instance, we have to choose a public key for a specific user, and the user who
No, but
actually use the key is not there. So nobody will worry. Okay,
you
if those
can still
instances
enter.
are-
As far as I remember, you can still use the recovery console. This is what I remember from the recovery. I don't now remember if the spot instance you can recover with the recovery console, but normal instance you can recover. If you don't know the password, you can recover with the recovery console.
Okay,
Yeah, but I mean,
but
if we don't have
yeah,
the key,
VMs are one thing.
by
We
the
have-
way,
we-
yeah,
Yeah, we have load
Mhm.
balancers, we have databases, we have Elasticsearch clusters. We have a lot of things that are running in different regions. We have so
Yeah.
many regions and so many things are running. We have to go to the billing and see, okay, where are all the things are running, and then
Mhm.
identify and stop
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah, I think we have a way forward, and we know who needs to, so we can tackle that tomorrow. I think that's a too big round to have that low level discussion. I think it's
Okay.
the goal is to get rid of that, and Jordan, your suggestion to spin up a firewall and to see who complains without removing their instance that might be worth or that might be important. That sounds like a good plan.
Great.
Okay. Seems like we can end early today. Or Kettle, do you have
That's all I had.
anything else?
Nope, we can go ahead and end early if nobody has anything. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
great Monday.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.
Hi.
Thanks.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Goodbye.